Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Trent and Zyori podcast. This is number 140. It's 8:30 a.m., bright and early here for me, and it is 2019, beginning of February. I messed it up again. I was going to say it's not September. This goddamn backwards date, Trent, it's always going to mess with me forever. How are you, bud? What's going on over in your side of the world, Mr. Trent Pack?
Fabulous. Very fabulous. You know, been busy on the streaming. Never really been a streamer.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, Trent, I didn't know you stream." That's like the first thing that pops up in the chat when people show up, and it's like, "Well, because I didn't."
I mean, it's a true statement. Yeah. How do you like it? Is the streamer life for you? Because most of the streamers I know kind of don't like it. Uh-oh, I lost your audio, bud. What happened? Where'd your audio go?
It's coming back.
There it is.
Yeah. Don't worry. That's gonna happen. It usually happens about twice, and then never again.
What has happened? Do I need to buy you some new hardware, dog? What's happening?
It might be. We might have a mixer issue. We're working on it. But it's definitely hard. There's like I understand that pressure of like wanting to do it every day because it's kind of like any sort of Dota casting, really, where it's like you're falling behind if you're not constantly creating content, or if you're like, if you don't watch Pro Dota, you're gonna fall behind as a caster. So if you don't stream every single day, you're gonna start falling behind in the same way. But you can see the steady growth, man. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think it's even more amplified with streaming because at least casting, they're kind of coming for the teams or for the tournament, and there's like all this variety of pressure that's coming together to make this tournament happen. When you're streaming, it's just you. They're basically coming for you and your style of what you're doing. I guess in these qualifiers, we're back to this point in Dota where there's so many games, some of them are actually going uncast. So I guess they do kind of come for the teams potentially, but a lot of it is, tier 2 teams that a lot of people haven't really heard of so much or don't have huge followings anyway. So I don't know. It's hard. It is that constant pressure where anytime you feel like you're not using your free time streaming, you think, what's that opportunity cost? Who else is streaming right now? How far behind am I getting? I don't know, man. It's kind of fun, but at the same time, it's wicked.
Yeah, it really is. It also has like that whole idea of like playing games when I'm like not streaming. Like, what if I'm just on late at night? Like, should I turn on my stream? Baby's in bed. I'm just playing some Smash. I feel almost like obligated to do it, not do it myself. I don't know.
Well, it's
speaking of streaming, as someone else is pointing out, the legendary Jack, who I just want to shout out as KBBQ Dota at Twitch.tv, has been streaming his ranked sessions.
Really?
And Jack's an animal. I mean, you turn on the Dota client, Jack is playing some Dota. Yeah. And now he's just like permanently streaming it. I don't know why he started doing this, but it is awesome. I highly recommend it.
Well, I don't know, man. Sometimes you just get the bug. It's happened to me before. I've been feeling that way recently. I almost streamed my calibration games the other day. I thought about it. I didn't actually do it, but a big part of me said, wouldn't it be fun just to get out there, see if 10 people tune in and watch me struggle in the upper 3K bracket because I haven't played in a couple months? I don't know.
I'd enjoy it.
It can be fun.
For the record.
It is interesting to think about quality versus quantity, though. And sometimes, like, is it better to just turn on the stream and do a chill stream as long as you bill it that way? And it's like, guys, this is Trent after hours. We're just hanging out. We're playing some Smash. Low expectations. But it's still a great service to your people that are actually there and just want to put on some background noise while they're at home doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Or is it better to go hard all the time, Trent?
I think maybe there's a balance or something.
Well, isn't that the issue with most streamers? It's the one-upsmanship. It's constantly feeling like you had to one-up your last thing that you did for attention. that last cosplay wasn't crazy enough. Do you have stretch goals or anything?
No, I haven't been really doing any of that kind of stuff. Because I think my goals for streaming are different. They're not necessarily like I'm not going to become a full-time streamer. That's not the goal. The whole point of streaming was basically like, well, I haven't been invited anywhere for a while. Guess I gotta start doing something. Like,
yeah,
gotta get the Reddit threads, gotta get the people, gotta say hello. I still exist.
Yeah,
so I exist.
I know that feeling. I feel like every January is like that a little bit, partially because it becomes tax season. So a lot of my day-to-day work is just boring behind-the-scenes stuff I can't talk about publicly, working with accountants and figuring out what everyone's got to do. you feel like you're stacking time when everyone else is getting these early year events, and you're like, why didn't I get to go to Dream League? I love going to Sweden. Like, that event always looks like so much fucking fun every time I watch it. You know, it doesn't matter.
I want to go to Dream League, please.
It doesn't matter who the teams are, who the talent are. It's always just fun. You know, the way they like do the draft, and they've got the little, what do they call it? The battle board, you know, where they move the pieces around. And
the war room.
Yes, the war room. It's, you know, it's really got its own vibe. I think Dream League might have one of the strongest, like, production brands in the Dota space. You know, PGL does a lot of stuff, but they don't have that same season after. I mean, what are we on now? Dream League season 11? Has it really been that many? You know, like, they've just refined that Dream League-ness really since, you know, the Too Good Bruno days. It's just all iterations after that.
That's what they've done, right? They've transitioned it from being a person-based thing to a studio-based thing. Because before, Dream League meant Too Good and Bruno and Draskell, and now none of those three are even there. And then now it still kind of means like Slacks, Owen, Sheaver, and Fogged, I would say, are still a very strong core of it.
Yeah.
But like, for example, the Night Crew was Kips, Moxie, and Breaky.
Yeah.
You know? Like, none of those classic faces or anything like that. They kind of brought in all new stuff. And so Dream League are indeed proving that they have really built something with that beautiful red shaggy carpet.
Yeah, I mean, Breaky, I guess, is a little bit of a newcomer to that group, but honestly, this is not the first time now Moxie and Kips have made appearances at Dream League, so they're starting to feel a little bit more like regulars, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. It's interesting that they've expanded out a little bit now, and I'm glad Dreamhack has continued to maintain their presence in Dota. I was really worried this season that some of the minors might be by, you know, GESC types or newcomers into the space, or we might struggle to find those really high-quality, well-run minors based on the financial situation. But so far, that fear has proved not really to happen. You know, it's all gone pretty well, and what we have next on the docket is pretty exciting. And then, what is it? Dota Pit is coming up before too long. And then we still have some minors and majors to be announced, actually. I was looking at the schedule yesterday or the day before, and there's still a fair degree of mystery of what's coming up in the next quarter or two.
I mean, let's just talk about the biggest mystery of all. I'm sure you saw the news dump yesterday. The rumor mill is churning about Disneyland Paris.
Sort of. Yeah, I don't get it. Is that real?
Is it real? I don't know, but if it is real, hello.
Let me see if I can find the thread. I saw the headline. Yeah, major in Disneyland, this thing.
Disneyland Paris, baby.
Exclusive. Dota 2 to head to Disney Paris for a major before the end of the season. The information comes to light after a recruitment consultant advertised a role for sales at the Dota 2 Major Paris, which sources then expanded on. Let's take a look at the link here. Now, this is on esportsinsider.com. Now, I'm going to be honest, folks. I don't know if this is a very reliable source. I've never heard of this website, really. I'm sure I've probably been to it before, but I don't know the author either. It's an interesting catch, though. Can you imagine being the guy that found this and you're just like, holy fuck, Jeffrey, I got some juice. This thing's making it on Reddit.
They're going to Disneyland. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, it just points out that there's 2 remaining major slots, May 2nd and June 20th.
Well, as Vlad tweeted out, according to Vlad, which we know he's always correct, there's every DPC event remaining will be in Europe, or as he put it, Moscow/Europe. So basically, to me, that means Epicenter is probably one of the majors. I like that I can just dish this because I actually have no idea. I have no inside knowledge.
I know, right?
I'm not spoiling anything if it's actually true, but according to what Vlad's tweeting, it sounds pretty likely. Like, let's be real, Epicenter's probably going to get a major. They certainly earned it in the past. And then if there was another major, like, come on, let's go. Give me that Disneyland. Where else is it going to be?
I mean, it could be pretty cool. People have talked about the dreams of Paris having some sort of Dota event. You know, it's been up there with, like, Australia, I think, is that dream location. Everybody wants to go. I'm going to stay a few extra days. And now it's finally happening. Paris is pretty fucking expensive. I think that's been a turnoff for a lot of people. It's very accessible, but it is not a cheap city by any stretch of the imagination. A major.
Yeah.
Now I wonder, what do you think's
PUBG.
more likely, coming in May or June? Because those really are the only two slots available here.
I would think June. I would guess, just because the May doesn't Epicenter like always do their stuff around April and May. I don't know if that would matter, but
Well,
I
I
would
mean,
just assume that's the one they'd bid for.
they aim for that quarter, and
Yeah.
they're both still kind of within that window. So
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
by that logic, I could see it either way. The May event feels a little rushed. If they're hiring salespeople now for an event that
Yeah.
starts May 2nd, yikes.
That
I mean,
sounds like it's probably the last one then.
yeah. I mean, dude, the budget for an event like that is easy millions. You know, it's definitely in the seven figures. So if you don't have like clear sponsors lined up, yikers. See how it's like the AMD Sapphire Dota Pit Miner? That's because Dota Pit's been working on those sponsors for literal years. That's
Yeah,
why
like
being a
actual.
new entrant in the Dota space is fucking brutal. Most of the people that are in Dota and want to spend a lot of money in Dota are already spending money in Dota. And if you're trying to find people that aren't already spending money, you got a lot of man hours ahead of you. It's not impossible. It's just a significant undertaking that really takes a lot of effort and coordination and some serious networking and salesmanship that is beyond the scope of, you know, simpletons like myself. So, whew, that's going to be interesting. But I'd love to go to Paris.
Yeah, seriously, I'm into that. I like that. I mean, not even just the fact that it's Paris. It's I've never been to any sort of a Disneyland or any sort of a Disney World.
All right.
So that could really get started with Disneyland Paris. That sounds like a great way to go about it.
Yeah,
personally.
I've never been to the Paris one. I've also never been to, I get the names confused. I've never been to the one in Anaheim in California. I have been to the one, I guess, Disney World in Florida like fucking 10 or 15 times. But
Oh, really?
I've been
What's
too
the
many times. It's not
I
fun
mean, the
for me
smaller
anymore.
one is Land, right? And
I
the
think
big
so.
one's World.
And the big one is World. World is pretty cool. It's just ungodly expensive. My ex-girlfriend, like 5 X's ago, lived in Florida, and one of her relatives worked for Disney, so she could get us in for free and get us discounted stuff. So that was why we went so often, because it was convenient and cheap. If you get the hookup like that, Disney's fucking awesome. But once you go that route, there's no going back, my friend. You are not going to feel okay paying $150 for a day pass, then spending $10 for a drink and some disgusting French fries. It's awful. Everything is so expensive.
I believe the Overwatch League town, or like at least some of the Blizzard people, had a company party at Disneyland recently.
Whoa, that's got to be
So
cool.
jelly. They had like private Disneyland.
Apparently, if you're a real high roller, you can stay in the castle in Disney World. There's actually like a suite in the top, and you can pay, it's like $10,000 or $20,000 a night or something, but you basically get to role play as a princess. And you get a butler, and they like bring you all this food and hot chocolate
And a chamber pot?
Yeah,
Is that part of the deal?
I don't know. I don't know how authentic the experience is, but apparently it's like I remember seeing an article about it a long time ago. It's the high roller. Disney is got it right, dude. They understand that things scale exponentially, and they are looking to cater to every single person on that spectrum, including the 1% of the 1%. It's nutso. They're like the gambling type setup. You know, if you come to Disney enough times, they will hook you the fuck up.
Yeah.
You want to have a one-on-one with Mickey, they can make that happen.
Free butterbeers, you know, just churning those things out.
Wait, is Harry Potter isn't that in Universal?
I don't know. I think so.
I think
I've never been to one of those big theme parks.
Really?
I don't know anything about them. Yeah.
Dude, Universal is pretty cool. I think that one's cooler than Disneyland, to be honest. It's a little cheaper, and it's more shit you recognize. You know, it's everything that isn't Disney, basically. They took down the Jaws ride, though. Remember that? The old classic ride? It was super old.
We've been through this. I haven't been there. How would I remember?
Surely you've heard of it or seen footage.
Surely up in Nova Scotia you've heard of the Jaws ride.
This thing is iconic,
goodness.
Trent. This thing.
It's an American statement of film.
Well, so it was like a rig of mechanics under this murky water, and you're on this boat with a bunch of other people, and there's a guy driving, and he fakes like the boat is breaking down, and then the shark comes out, but it doesn't actually move. It pops out of the water and goes up, and then just goes back down, and then the boat goes somewhere else, and another shark pops up, then goes back down. But the acting is what really makes it a fun experience, you see.
And some kids got too scared, and they had to stop doing it because they thought they were all dying.
Well, see, now, Trent, I'm trying to give you the inside scoop here because they tore it down like 5 or 6 years ago. So
so no spoilers. Okay,
you'll never get to experience the Jaws ride again. Now it's just a memory. I'm lucky that I was of the last generation that got to ride the Jaws ride.
Well, speaking of spoilers, which is completely random, by the way, was it you who I saw tweeting about our boy Asa Butterfield's new show on Netflix?
I did tweet about it.
So, for you guys who used to watch what were those called? The Mafia things? The Town?
The Town, yes.
You may have recalled that Asa Butterfield is kind of a Dota fan. He likes Dota. And so
Smash.
he got involved in Smash. In fact, he has actually been signed by a team in Smash.
No way. I missed that.
Yes, Panda Global. I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's a very smart signing. They're basically just sponsoring him, even though he's not a pro level player. He's pretty good, but
he's working.
It's a little bit of both, right? It's like
Gotcha.
This helps us, this helps you, gets you more in touch with the gaming community, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's got a major show popping off. I think he's in Japan actually playing at some Smash tournaments too. It's pretty cool.
He was just in California playing in one in Oakland because I was just in California and I was like, oh shit. And then I realized how far away Oakland is from Palm Spring Desert. But so on Twitter, he's got like a couple 100,000 Twitter followers or something, which is pretty wild. But on Instagram, he's got like 3 or 4 million followers, dude. He is
really
nutso popular on Instagram. So that's where a lot of that like crazy, he's got some pretty crazy fans. Like I just tweeted some generic like, hey, this show's awesome. This guy's really cool because I met him at TI, whatever it was, 7, 6, one of those.
Probably 6.
Whichever one,
either,
when Greg was having parties on the rooftop, partying at Gerg's, whichever one that was.
6.
Where all those random people were trying to figure out which bar was Gerg's.
Yeah, I think that was 6.
I think that was 6. I met him at Gerg's. So anyway, I just I didn't actually realize who it was when I started watching the show, and then I saw someone else tweet about it and all kind of clicked, and I thought the show was pretty funny. So anyway, he just replied like, thanks, dude. And then all of a sudden, that tweet has like 20 retweets or something, and his fans are like, and they retweet everything. It's nuts when you just see a little taste of like what real celebrities experience, and that was just like not even the tip of the iceberg. It's just like a little tiny bit. You look at anything he tweets, and it's just, oh my god, I love you, you're awesome, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you're so cool, I love you, I love you, I love you. This show's awesome. Let's hang out. Like, it's insane. It's actual insanity. Like it's kind of wild that we kind of met this guy who was like super young that was acting and kind of into games, and now all of a sudden he is like a legit superstar. Yeah, maybe I'm paraphrasing that story poorly, but it's just insane. Like that's just insane. Small world shit.
Yeah, but it seems like his new show's kind of popping off. You said it's pretty good, enjoyable. I'm definitely down to watch it.
It's it's one of those shows that goes there. It's his mom. His parents are divorced. He lives with his mom, and she's like a sex therapist or something. So she's super obsessed with sex and like freaks out all of his friends. And I think it's established in the first episode, but he's basically having this problem where he's like, I don't know how old he's supposed to be in the show, 15 or 16. And he's not able to masturbate for some reason. He has some
I think they kind of go over this in the trailer.
Yeah,
it's
some mental block where he's just like trying to jerk off and it's not working for him. And his best friend is gay, so he's like much more flamboyant and sort of with it, so to speak, and trying to explain it to him. And it's one of just those shows. So anyway, there's just a lot of awkward, honest sex talk, and I think it's probably a pretty cool program for people that are younger, and if you like come from a more repressed background or never grew up in an environment where you were allowed to talk about sexuality. It's a cool show to break down some of those barriers a little bit, in a way that's like comical and funny.
I haven't watched stuff in a while, actually, though. But speaking of which, I have my own recommendation as of late of Netflix. Life in Pieces slays me. That show is hilarious. I'd never heard of it. I had no idea why. Maybe I find it particularly funny because I'm kind of in I think I might be the perfect demographic for it, where I'm like young family guy, just had a baby. But basically the whole show it's one family and every episode is 4 compartments essentially about 4 different parts of this one mega family unit.
Okay.
So you've got the people who just had a baby, so I have lived through these experiences. You get the baby in the hospital, you're holding this baby, and you realize you never held a baby in your entire life, and they just send you out the front door. And they're just like, how can they just let us leave? They should lose their licenses. Like, I was just there. So like, to me, that's just the funniest shit. Because you're just like, it's so good. But yeah, and it kind of has like different stages of life, but A+ show, very funny. So
Okay.
there's my recommendation as of late.
All right. The other one I've been watching also is Kim's Convenience. It's actually based in a Korean family in Toronto. A little Canadian love. It's on Netflix, and it is hysterical. As someone who just visited Korea and is now a lot more involved in Korean culture, it is fucking hysterical. It's about a family that has a daughter and a son that own a convenience store in Toronto and immigrated from South Korea, and it's just butchered accents and all sorts of ridiculous hijinks that only Korean Americans would find themselves caught up in, and it's very, very well done. It's very funny, and it's really good at riding that line of like laughing with them instead of laughing at them, kind of, because it's a lot of, you know, cultural and sort of racial humor in it, but it's funny, and it's even funnier that it's Canadian. They have police. There's a couple scenes where like police get involved, like the convenience store gets robbed or whatever, and it's just so fucking funny to see the Canadian cops. They're all so friendly and nice, and they don't pull out their guns.
Yeah, I tell you, it's something.
I tell you. It makes Toronto look real nice, though, bud. I'll tell you what.
Toronto looks really good in films. They've got like the really sick looking city hall. No, it's true. They make that place look real nice.
But it's just an illusion, right? It's some sort of mirage.
I don't know. I've never actually been in downtown Toronto, other than I've been to the airport about 10 times or more, probably, but never in Toronto itself.
All right. Well,
had the need.
Huh?
But Dota World.
Yes.
Speaking of Disneyland and the miners and the Dota Pit miner, there is one before that.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Dreamleague here, dude. The qualifiers just wrapped up. Yesterday? Is that right?
For Dreamleague, it was like 3 or 4 days ago.
3 or 4 days ago? Wow, time flies by, man. What qualifiers were the last couple days?
That's the minor opens that have been going on.
That first round. Man, that shit is really stacked up. But Major coming up in Stockholm, 3/14. Holy shit, I didn't realize it starts on Pi Day, dude. Look at that.
Oh.
A month and some change away. Looks like it's going to be a pretty cool spread of teams. We'll just run through the list very quickly for anyone out there that might have missed the coverage. NIP, Secret, Team Liquid, Virtus Pro, Navi, PSG, LGD, eHome, Keen Gaming, Fnatic, Mineski, Evil Geniuses, J-Storm, Forward Gaming, Chaos Esports Club, Infamous, and TBD. That's the winner of the minor.
I think if you were to look at every one of these qualifying areas and choose like who you thought was going to qualify from each group, there is not a single upset in the entire thing. Am I wrong? I can't. If I had to pick who was going to qualify, I think maybe you can make an argument for Europe and be like,
come on, OG, dude. That's
they have not looked good, dude. They're not qualifying to a major.
Okay, so all right, they got 5th to 6th, dude. They didn't even make top 4. They placed the same as Caban. They don't even have a Wikipedia page. I mean, that's
a Cinderin team. I mean, that's that's no bueno.
Okay, I see. DK Phobos, 9, Oliver. I see it there. So
it's a quality team.
It's a decent team, but I would say OG is also a quality team. You know, I see what you're saying. It's not like, wow, OG should have gotten first place. Europe sucks. But from what I understand, they, quote, bombed out.
Yeah. They haven't quite got onto this patch.
They got 2-0'd by Vega. And I'm not saying Vega's a bad team, but you look at the lineups on paper, I think OG should definitely be able to put up a fight against Vega and not get flopped 2-0 in the lower bracket. You hear what I'm saying, dog?
Oh, I hear you. Maybe I think the only one that I could maybe see an argument for would be Vici over Keen Gaming, perhaps. But Keen's been looking really good leading up to it. They've been playing a bit more than Vici as well. And Vici certainly struggling. There's even rumors that they're gonna disband apparently too, which I thought was pretty surprising.
No way.
Apparently Vici's looking at some major mix-ups, supposedly with Aggressive coming in and playing for them potentially too. So. But we'll see in that regards. Other than that, though, just, I guess, actually, there was one upset that I forgot to mention. Navi getting in over Gambit / the Pango. So, my bad. Navi actually is kind of an upset, frankly.
I was just looking at that. Chuvash is not a player I'm familiar with.
He used to play on the Empire stacks, I think. Oh no, Comanche. That's the one that he was playing on for a little bit
Yeah,
last
so he
year.
was on Empire for a short period. Okay. Cool. Very young player, 1998 birthday. Great.
Just kind of kicking around in the area for a while. But yeah, so they actually had a decent upset. Considering how much Gambit had been playing and how good they looked at the minor before losing to eHome, I thought they would be a little bit stronger in this qualifier.
Well,
But
especially even just within the group, Navi was in the same group as Gambit and the Pango. Got third out of four. Gambit going 2-0 and taking top of the group. So Navi started lower bracket, battled their way all the way through the bottom, eliminated the Pango 2-1, eliminated Gambit 2-0 in the lower bracket final to qualify. That's a hell of a run.
well, look what Gambit did too, right? Because they won 2-0 in the semis against Old But Gold, which is kind of an okay team. It's just some like literally what the name says, it's some older CIS players, but still gold.
Okay.
So they 2-0 them, but then they get 2-0 by Virtus Pro, and then they just get 2-0 by Navi, and suddenly you're in the minor qualifiers, and you're just like, what happened, guys? We went 4-1 in groups, and then we just went 0-4 in the playoffs, and we're out.
Yeah, that's true.
Not the
That's
time to fail.
kind of like the dark side of having that easier run up top. You go from a pretty easy matchup to a super hard matchup to a pretty difficult matchup, and that's it. You're just done. There's no safety net after that. But call it an upset, but it's still a hell of a run for Navi. So it'll be interesting to see how they look at the actual major, if they can. I didn't see those games, but looking at that bracket kind of makes you want to go. I'd like to go back and watch the losers finals, to be honest, and see what happened, how Navi 2-0'd Gambit.
I think the logic is that in the first two games, they got 2-0'd by Gambit because Gambit played their Medusa, which they showed to be by far the most popular and powerful strat at the minor. And then eventually eHome just kind of started doing the same thing. And like they just give Dahak Medusa, they put him mid, and he's so good at farming. Like the guy just, he basically, any hero, he just has these perfect farming patterns. This guy finally taught me what farming patterns mean. And it's not just some stupid buzzword anymore. Like I actually get it. When you watch this guy play, he is approaching camps as they are spawning. He is getting there to make sure a stack happens. Like the guy is just permanently hitting creeps. I think it's because he spams so much Meepo that he's like, he can do that with like 4 characters at once. Someone that's one hero, he's like seamless. Like he's so good. So they basically just gave him Dusa. He did that every single game. And in the last match, they just banned Dusa both games first phase, and they won both games. No Dusa.
Wow.
Lost 2 games to Dusa. Won 2 games with no Dusa.
Sometimes it's really just that simple. The same sort of thing happened to Aster in China, it looks like, where upper bracket, they get 2-0'd by LGD. Okay, don't feel too bad about that. Drop down to the lower bracket, get 2-1 by Keen, you're fucking eliminated. You were 1 win away from qualifying, then all of a sudden, you just get booted, and Keen qualifies over you. You kind of mentioned it with Vici, but I think Aster got shafted just as hard. There will be no Aster gaming at the major.
Yeah, Aster's, I don't know. I'm not too convinced of that squad. I love the names, but they're struggling to put things together.
Bobica?
Yeah, Bobica. I mean, Fenrir, legendary Fenrir. Captain's Draft Minor.
I don't know when it happened, but Southeast Asia, has it become this region where there's the top 2 competitors and that's it?
Yep.
Fnatic Mineski. What is going on with TNC, dude? They bombed
TNC got knocked out in the opens in the minor. TNC aren't even going to go to the minor. They didn't make the minor closed qualifiers.
You're talking about TNC Predator, right?
I'm talking about TNC Predator. They did not make the minor qualifiers.
What the fudge is going on over there in the Philippines?
Dude, they threw a game so hard versus Admiral. It was like literally they were winning. It was in the best of ones. They were winning. And then suddenly, I think it was Raven didn't have buyback. Sorry, not Raven. Wrong team. Talking about Admiral. I think it was Gabby didn't have buyback. Whoever was playing Slark that game really screwed the pooch. And yeah, they just lost.
Womp.
That's what happened.
Well, that's a bummer. Who's Low-Tac? Let's see. Oh, there you go. That's
the Ohio stack.
So that's Raven, Chuan, Ohio, Yamate, and Skemberlu. Oh, okay. Interesting. And then Boom ID, they got third, so they were actually pretty close to qualifying, just 1 series short. But darn it, Mineski.
Yeah, Mineski's. I love seeing Mineski be successful. Honestly, before I was really hoping for this team just because like KP and Febby, but then they added Pilot I too. who was cool to hang out with when we were in KL. So
Mm-hmm.
happy to see them be successful for sure.
And Moon.
The most brutal thing about that major qualifier is that what they did is that depending on your placements in the major qualifier, that's how you were seeded for the minor qualifier. So that's what determined if you had to go through opens or not.
Mm-hmm.
So just the fact that TNC lost to WG Unity so early, like they just needed to at least win there, and then perhaps the next round, at least they would have had the direct invite. But because they just lost straight up in losers round one and did poor enough in their group for that to happen, that's why they had to go through opens in the first place. Whereas, I mean, let's be real, this team shouldn't have to go through opens.
Yeah.
But the way I don't understand how these qualifiers can possibly be legitimate with so few teams in the closed qualifiers. It definitely reeks of a way to just squeeze out qualifiers super quickly.
Yeah.
Because like in North America, there are 4 teams in the qualifier.
Well, so that's one thing I haven't been able to figure out, and maybe this is posted somewhere. We're going to crowdsource this to Twitch chat if I'm mistaken, but I've talked to several different major and minor organizers in a variety of degrees about formats and what they're allowed to do and what the flexibility is. And so far, most of them have given me the answer, it's going to be the same as the last one, which to me implies that there is some sort of a rubric you have to follow for the qualifiers. And I don't mean just you have to do one for every region, but how many teams do you invite? How big does the bracket have to be? I don't know if that's been clearly defined, but everyone's just been sort of playing it safe and following that same kind of formula. And it may just be that the first one of the season did it as short as possible to not have to mess around with qualifiers, then everyone else has just sort of copied that as the way to do it, when in reality, we could be doing qualifiers all sorts of different ways.
Well, surely there's enough of a break. I mean, that's bullshit, right? Like, what's after these minor qualifiers?
There's a break, isn't there?
It's a massive... There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Like, maybe these teams want to play in, like, We Play or something like that. Well, tough shit. I mean, like... This should be given priority. There should be way more time for a minor qualifier than 3 days of games.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe it's just because the schedule is so tight for the amount of days that you're supposed to do it in that there isn't really another format that you can do without significantly increasing the burden of coverage, and already games are going without coverage. That could very well be it also. I guess I'm just curious if it's ever been announced, like, okay, if you want a minor, this is what you have to do for the qualifiers. What would happen if a minor said, yo, can we just do this over 5 days? Does it really matter? Could we just, we want to do better coverage. We want to stretch it out. We want to have 6 teams instead of 4 for each region. Is that cool? Would that be a problem? Could anybody actually do that? Or is there's some hard line there?
Clearly the answer is just do 2 games at once or something. Like, do more. I don't care. Play every single game at once at the same time. Like,
you're an animal.
What are we doing here? There's no way that viewership should be ruining the competitive integrity. If we're going to be forced into 3-day qualifiers, then I don't care if there's like 6 streams going or something.
Yeah,
but
I hear you.
Like, this is just ridiculous. There is, for example, there is 1 team coming from Europe, first off, in the way that the slots are allocated. So there's only 1 slot available at this minor for either Alliance, OG, or Vega Squadron, which just sounds insane. Not even talking about teams that you're kind of thinking to be at a minor, like a Cinderin Stack or The Real Deal, for example, with the EGM, who've been looking very good. It feels crazy. Like, these qualifiers just feel absolutely insane. Also, it looks like we're getting kind of like regional-based stuff in terms of who gets to go. So, like, for example, there are 2 CIS teams for the Star Ladder Minor and 2 Chinese teams. So, rightfully, I feel like the 2 slots should be Europe over CIS. I can see an argument as some of these teams are okay, but I think it's a little bit short. I think that the European squads are a little bit better that are here in this minor, but just like the home crowd advantage apparently allows you to have 2 slots for CIS. Is that the logic here?
Probably. I think that plays into it. I would say it's a combination of factors. It's probably where if you look at Europe and CIS and go, yeah, CIS has a bunch of pretty good teams. Europe has some pretty decent teams, but overall, I think CIS is stronger. So if I have to give 2 slots to one or the other, I lean towards CIS. And then if you say, well, it's also regional, it's going to be better for the event overall because of the home court and stuff. I don't know. It's a judgment call either way, so I don't have a huge problem with something like that tipping in favor of wherever the event is. Would we be upset if it went the other way and it was a North American event and there was a wash between South America or North America, and we were like, North America just seems kind of better and it's home court, so we want to bring in another NA team? I would be okay with that logic if we were running a minor.
I guess I don't know who decides. It sounds like it must be the organizers who decide and not Valve.
I think there's that basic parameter of it's a combination, right? The parameter is you have to spread it out across the regions, and it needs to be somewhat balanced, but with the way the minors are, it's not going to be an even number, so I think there is a little bit of judgment there. It's like, well, let's not call it. Let's wait and see how things shape out. If China becomes the big region, let's give them 2. If it turns into Southeast Asia, let's give them 2. So Tigers and Boom ID. It's going to be interesting to see who actually qualifies from C. I don't know anything about that Detonator squad. They've got some decent names, though.
They're okay. I would say I might probably low tech at this point, honestly. I don't know. Maybe Boom ID can close it out with another 2. Or I guess, is it best of 5? No, it's best of 3. Ooh, okay. Maybe Boom ID can do it. That team is pretty good, but they have let me down a few too many times.
I didn't see the lower half of the bracket. Holy shit. Yeah, so Tigers are already eliminated. Yeah. That's my bad.
Yeah, they're already done. They're Dondo.
That's embarrassing.
Dondo. Oh, who'd they play with? Did they play with Mushi or did they play with Velo? I didn't get up in time for the games here. Let's take a look. Because Mushi did not play in the open qualifiers with them. Velo did instead.
Why? Didn't they just make such a big public deal about Mushi joining the team and Mushi and Dendi playing together? Like, wasn't that a big
Velo who played again. I think their first games probably didn't go too well.
That shit's already a train wreck. Are you kidding me? How long's it been? It's been, 2 weeks?
I think they played like 2 games.
Oh, come on, man. Are you fucking shitting me? What's happening over here? That's such a cool lineup. 1-4-3-7, Dendi, and Moon Meander with Mushi. That's such a cool all-star. I don't know if it's actually going to work.
Their games together look terrible, dude. It was awful. That Animage game was a disaster. They played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 officials together.
Okay, well, now that would be a fun stream. Let's just go back and watch all of their games and cast the replays. No, let's not do that. I fancy myself friends with Dendi. I don't want to rub it in.
No, don't get in on that one. But
wow.
But yeah, so puny tiny qualifiers are indeed happening. I mean, it's hard to believe I missed one day and like so many teams are already out. Like that's what's so crazy about this to me. Like they played 2 series and they're just done. That's it. You're out of the minor qualifiers. Like some regions have group stages, some don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Like why does Europe have a group stage? And then what are these formats? Why does Europe have a group stage and then into a single elimination bracket, and C just has a double elimination bracket?
CIS also just has a double elimination bracket.
No, CIS is crazy. CIS has like some big ass format going on. Look at the CIS one.
Oh,
There's
no, you're right.
It's
2 double elimination brackets. It's first phase and then second phase.
And they've got 2, 4, 6 teams. So CIS and Europe have the same amount of teams. Am I right?
Wait, am I reading this right? CIS is a double elimination, because if you get eliminated from the first double elim bracket, you just get seeded into the bottom double elim bracket. And some of them are starting in the upper bracket of the second double elim. So it is actually 4 rounds. It's a double elim. That's the most redundant format in the fucking world.
Well, look, the invited teams, so like Gambit, for example, got to start in the second phase.
Okay.
Gambit didn't have to play the first phase.
Oh, I see. So the first phase, the top 2 just qualify into the second phase.
Right. So this is how you did at the major qualifiers is how they're seeding this.
Okay. So it's a yeah, I see.
But so why is that like that? But then you look at the Europe one, and then it's
what
a group stage.
The fuck? And then let's see. South America is just a 4-team double elim. That's it. Oh God, what a mess! I have no idea. So maybe that answers the question I had not that long ago. Is there any rubric? It doesn't fucking seem like it.
I'm pretty sure this was the CIS we're just preparing in case Navi didn't make the major qualifier. It's like, how do we make sure we give Navi as many chances as possible?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yep. It's a CIS conspiracy, I tells you.
it's a money-making conspiracy. I'd be in on that too.
Cheese and crackers, dude. What a web we just went down with all. How much did we just unpack there?
The Liquipedia rabbit hole.
Yeah,
something.
really. So we
not
are going to
casting
have. Let me go back to the schedule though, because the break that you mentioned is coming up really soon, right?
It's a DPC break, but it's not a tournament break. So I guess everyone in chat's like, "There's like 6 tournaments this month, Trent. You're insane." It's like, well, yeah, I know, but I'm talking about minors, baby, minors and majors and TI. That's all the players care about. Yeah. Like, run your other events. That's cool. They'll come. They'll make some cash. But in the end, I'm pretty sure we can all agree we want more than, a double, not even a single elimination bracket to qualify for a minor, to potentially qualify to a major, to potentially qualify to TI.
I will say, though,
a bit silly.
I'm a little jealous. There are a shitload of third-party events right now, and I've been half invited to one of them. So
did you say half invited?
Half invited, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll leave it up to guess. But if you go to Liquipedia right now and go to upcoming, there's one event on there that I've been half invited to, and I don't even know if I'm gonna go. And even if I do, God, I don't know, man. It's definitely the worst choice of everything on there. But who knows? Who knows? Who is a lot of Dota, and it's a lot of interesting Dota. This WESG is going to be interesting. This is one of those Olympic-style tournaments. So if you click on that one, there's like a lot of flags and team icons you won't recognize, but that's because it's all team only, or country only. I'm sorry. So just scrolling through it. And in the past, this was the tournament that kind of set up TNC Predator, ironically enough, to really excel into the mainstream. It was like the first big tournament they won for cash after TI. So yeah, they won 500K at TI. That's pretty cool. TI 6. Then they won 800K at WESG like 4 months later in 2016. So
that was
2017
Cloud9?
rather. Early 2017.
Oh, right, the Danish stack when they were. Oh, it was the Ace and Baby Knight and everyone. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So TNC had like 1.4, 1.3 million in like total team winnings, which is nuts for the region, and then that gave them some standing to really train hard. For WESG team, our boys are going to be the NA squad: Sammy Boy, Ryoya, Brax, Nusham, and IX Mike. It's in Chongqing with 24 teams. Jesus.
So what happens if team qualify for the minor? What do you think they go to?
Definitely the minor, right? Well,
Do
WESG is 900K prize pool.
I would, not gonna lie, I would go to WESG personally.
And
if
WESG,
I don't think I have a chance at going to the major.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. WESG does have some pretty decent competition. Like Final Tribe is all Swedish. Bottom is actually the Canadian squad. Jo Ray Lalisa TC Way 2. They're actually going.
Yeah, the whole Canada qualifier was a complete and utter shit show.
I heard, yeah.
Because everyone dropped out at the last second, and then they didn't even broadcast any of the games. And
all right, my money, I wish I could bet on this. My money is on Russia. Ramses, Afaninje, Pasha, Roger, Solo. Hello, recognize those names? Yeah, Team Russia's coming, dude, and they are hungry.
All right, any of them. Let's do a WSG checkout here. So what if Afaninje, he's trying to qualify for a minor right now?
That's true.
He might not be able to go.
Well, they'll get a stand-in. there. Maybe the other player of VP will show up.
He can't because he's Ukrainian.
Oh, shit, you're right.
Because no one's the one from Ukraine.
I'm sure they'll find somebody. Russia's got a lot of players. Team Ukraine, though, is pretty legit. Speaking of, there he is, no one.
Oh, speaking of minor players, we got Sioma.
God, oh no. WESG, no, not like this. So WESG is on the 7th to 10th in Chongqing. So it's going to be pretty tough to get from China. I mean, it's possible, I guess. Isn't the minor the 14th?
No, the minors, it's the exact same dates.
Is it really? It's the exact same dates?
I'm pretty sure. The main tournament is the 7th to the 10th. What is WESG?
WESG is the 7th to the 10th. Fuck!
Yeah, it's the exact same dates.
They're exactly the same. Okay. Okay.
This is a fun game. Who is not going to go?
Oh my God, dude. This is surprising. All right. Maybe Boom ID is pretty high on my list of people to do well. That's the Indonesian squad, WG Unity, hailing from Malaysia. What flag is that? Oh,
Dude, Boom ID's
Myanmar.
about to
Okay.
qualify to the minor. They can't go.
Who?
Boom ID. They're going to qualify to the minor. They're going to win.
Yep, you're right. Well, I don't know who's winning this fucking thing.
It's TNC. That's why they're sandbagging the minor qualifiers in the open bracket.
I see. So it's an
They want that
intentional
cash
throw
money
so that they
again.
can get to WESG and then conquer. Honestly, it's probably going to be won by China. Aster and Vichy are both of the Chinese teams that were invited directly, and eHome qualified. China is fucking stacked for this tournament, and they've got home court advantage.
God, what a time. Well, this will be something else to watch.
Dude,
Except no one will be watching it. 'cause
holy
it's during
shit.
these
Okay, I just
activations.
realized something crazy. Peru has a team that qualified with Smash on it. This is WESG, baby.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that. That is pretty hype.
There's no ban. Berna, Chris Brown, Smash, Wu, and Masoku is the Peru team. Who Chris Brown and Berna are, your guess is as good as mine, but Smash is going to WESG, baby.
Wow, when's the last time Smash played in a tournament?
I have
WESG last year, according to his Wikipedia.
It's like the only tournament worth playing in for him still, because it's actually a lot of money.
When you go to Smash's Wikipedia page, it says Smash status active Valve banned.
Oh, what a sad story that is. Oh, my.
Smash.
There is also a
Smash,
German
Smash.
team. That's kind of interesting. I don't really recognize Stormer, rather.
Blazemon, Jabs, and yeah, Stormer. It's the relatively and Hovity. Okay, yeah, I know most of these guys except for Scabo.
It is cool that there's a Canadian team. There's also a team from Bolivia.
There's also Aussie with Anna.
Aussies and Xemetry or chemistry or whatever. Hey, Godot.
Yeah.
And
That's old
QO
school.
apparently is going to be playing with them. So that's...
Yeah, he's Australian too.
Is he?
Yep.
Ah, okay. All right.
Well, there you go, guys.
Legit. All right, I'm actually looking forward to WESG now. I think this is a pretty cool mix of teams. I love it when, like, it's rare we get to see tournaments with 24 teams on LAN. So even if it ends up being a little bit funky or there's a lot of blowouts or there's some tech issues or anything else you can imagine, I'm still kind of excited. This is one of few, like, non-DVC tournaments that is actually a shitload of money, and it's a potential life changer for, like, half of the players here.
I hope
it's kinda cool.
Miracle goes for Team Jordan because Team Jordan's mega hype too.
Where is
I've met
Team
a lot of those guys too.
Jordan? I don't see it.
They're called Orcus. They have a Jordanian flag. So it's Miracle, Mage, Hook, Afromoosh, and the only one I don't know is Got Hex, who apparently is their position 5 player.
Oh, I see. The West and South Asia qualifier. Yeah. Wow. Holy shit, you're right. Team
Hook's
Jordan
really
is stacked.
Yeah, those are all actually really good players. But yeah, so it should be good. I don't know.
Dude, there's
And
a South
apparently able to
African
go to that
team
at least.
also. The Africa qualifier, South Africa one.
Is it White Rabbit or whatever they're called?
No, it's Elite Pro. Deppy, Castaway, Chidawi, Frank, and Whelp. I want to cast a guy named Frank. And
There were
Frank
only
goes in
2
with the black
teams.
hole.
For the Africa qualifier, there were 2 teams, and they played one best of 3, of which Elite Pro won 2-0 against a Tunisian team. Wow. God, this tournament is crazy.
Dude, why didn't they hire us to organize the Africa qualifier? I feel like we could have sniped that. That is definitely within the Moonduck wheelhouse.
That's our wheelhouse. Yeah, that's our zone right there.
If we can pull off Mr. Cat, I think we can pull off an Africa. What about this? So, dude, the one for Team Jordan, it was also 2 teams. It was Team Jordan versus Team India. And they played one best of 3, and I'm going to go ahead and guess that Miracle probably just rolled him. I'm going to go out
I
on
have
a
so many
limb here.
tabs open right now. I can't even find everything again.
Holy.
Wow.
Now, that's what's really sad. If you look at the qualifier for West and South Asia, it's like 15 countries, and there were still only 2 teams playing. I guess there aren't enough Pakistani players. I was thinking, could Sumail and Yawar find some people to make a team.
They probably know enough people, honestly, to make at least one team. But
wouldn't that be sick? That's a hype qualifier right there. The Sumail, or what's their last name? Jesus, I'm spacing.
Hassan, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, the Hassan brothers versus Miracle Mage Afro-Moosh +2. Now that would be a qualifier worth casting.
Jeez.
Oh my. All right.
All right. Well, WSG, there you go. There's your coverage for the year.
Yep.
My dudes.
There you go. So who knows? It's going to be interesting though. I think there's still a lot of talent announcements to come because we have WESG, we've got Dreamleague Major, we've got the Star Ladder Minor, ESL1 Katowice, and then MDL Macau.
Can we talk about this one? What is this? We play Esports Dota 2 Valentine Madness.
I saw that.
Place
is that I think
to the
Sheever
16th?
tweeted about it. Yeah, look at the coverage. It's OD Pixel, Sheever, Breaky CPK, Kyle, and Purge. Apparently, Gods was supposed to be there originally, but he got sick, so now Kyle is there. And the host is some guy named Roberto Gonzalez. Rob AJG. I have absolutely no idea who that is.
Does that hurt your feelings a little bit there?
Just as I thought Gods and I were starting to become friends again. I swear to God, Gods. All right. No, yeah, exactly. Brutal.
Call me up.
Hit me up.
Yeah, I don't know. They got a hell of a lot of teams in here. Look at this. You got all these you got quarterfinal invites who get to play. You got a winners round 2 that you start off in. Wow. Exciting.
Let's see. It looks like Rob AJG. He produces artifact content for Team Liquid, and he hosts various esports events.
Well, it's time for him to meet Dota.
But he spells esports with a dash and a capital S. That's a double whammy right there, Rob. What are you doing? What are you doing, Rob? Oh, that stings a little bit. Seeing that shit, Trent, that burns. I'm just kidding.
That's he cool. Hosted that. I actually know who he is then. I was watching a little bit of that Artifact tournament.
Well, now that you say that, it rings a bell.
Now that I see yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is a LAN event. Where are they covering it from?
It is not LAN. It's all online, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I wonder, are the talent going to be grouped up? Are they like casting it from the Sheever Owen Castle or something?
No. They have the WePlay thing that they do. They have like a WePlay studio that they've done a lot of artifact content in. Right. They did the last 2 big WePlay tournaments into.
Right, that's the one. It's in Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. I like that. I think that style of coverage is a great middle ground.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it. This tournament will feature a brand new 3-game guarantee system where there's a link here. The loser of the first round of the lower bracket will also advance to the second round and will have a second chance to continue forward in the tournament. Their opponent will be from the opposite side of the bracket. Wow, what a neat little tidbit to include in their description.
So it's basically a double elimination bracket, except some teams are seeded into the second round because it's an odd number of teams. It's 12 teams? So not literally odd, but it's not a power of 2. So the top 4 teams by just general seeding start in the second round of the upper bracket. So that's basically all that it means. It's a really convoluted way to say we're doing a single or a double elim bracket with 12 teams. But that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's a nice system. I can approve of that, especially because it's online games. They're a little bit less, stable.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, we got that to look forward to. And that was just somewhat recently announced, right? That was like one of those pop-up events that kind of came out of nowhere, I think, right?
It was one of those events where like, oh, this is happening because they posted a background on the subreddit. Like, hey, look at our cool fuzzy logo, guys.
Oh. I've always wanted to work in MDL. There was a time many years ago when we were bidding on the MDL contract. That was one of the first events MOONDUCK ever went after, and it was a classic BTS versus the Duckers situation, and MDL dangled the carrot, and they're like, nah, we really like you guys. We really like BTS. We're just trying to decide. And they chose BTS every single time. Season 2, they came back and said, guys, we're thinking about switching it up. And they chose BTS again, and then eventually we just let them go and just let them drift away. Just like curling, just let that thing go and just watched it glide, see how it would turn out. And I've never gotten to go to MDL. I've always wanted to go to Macau, man. It sounds like an awesome place to be.
Everyone wants to go.
I'm a little sad.
They don't bring European or English coverage anymore though.
Really? It's all off-site?
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
That's what the last one was. It was
Oh.
Kyle, BSJ, I think Lyrical, and Grant. I think were the four, and maybe
that's
Gods
cool.
too, and Jack. I don't
see.
remember.
Well, I don't feel so bad anymore. If they're casting remotely, then you're just staying up all night and killing your sleep schedule. Have fun with it, boys.
Hell yeah.
More power to you. But actually going on site, I mean, some of the early MDLs I think were supposed to be pretty fucking cool, and that was just one I never got to partake in. There's going to be a bummer for this one, though. I see a stand-in. It looks like CCNC is going to be standing in for Sumail. And that's actually...
Sumail getting some vacation time. Obviously, the last time that Sumail was missing was Hamburg, and that was a visa issue where Sumail just couldn't get there in time. That was not intentional to have CCNC come in as a stand-in, but they had to. Mm-hmm. So this time it's actually intentional, and Sumail's just taking a vacation, a little bit of a breather since they just qualified to the major.
Interesting.
So that's the scoop on that one. Speaking of qualifying, I just realized we went through all this talk about the majors and the minors, and we didn't discuss the Mason stack. Are you aware that the legendary Mason has returned?
Only on Instagram. I do follow him on Instagram.
You follow him on the gram, dude?
I do. Grant recommended it. So, no. Which qualifier are we talking about? Which team is
that is tonight. That starts in 3.5 hours. Where Complexity will be playing versus What the Frog, which is Mason, CCNC, Monkeys, Boris, and Jube. So 2 Canadians rocking that team. I believe the only... Oh, I guess Envy's on Flying Penguins. So we got 3 Canadians in the NA qualifier tonight.
I don't know, dude. So these 4 teams right here, I don't know. This is a pretty hype qualifier. Complexity right now...
No, dude, I can't wait. I'm excited for tonight. It's
who's Complexity's 5th? Right now they've got Miracle, Limp, Death, Z-Freak... Who's 5?
For who, sorry?
Complexity.
Oh, it's supposed to be Adam. But Monkeys is playing for What the Frog, obviously.
Yeah.
And he's been standing in and playing 5 for Complexity and all the other qualifiers.
Okay.
He's actually been playing so well on support, not gonna lie. Monkey has kind of carried them in a couple of games. But I think I'm guessing Adam's gonna play. I assume that they found a way for him to play tonight, but I guess we'll find out.
Okay. So Flying Penguins, that's the Envy stack basically. Envy, Gunner, Laposa, Francis Lee, and Snake King. Then we've got Team, who we mentioned earlier, Sammy Boy, Susie, Brax, Nusham, Mike. And then What the Frog is Mason, CC, Monkeys, Boris, and Jube, as we also just mentioned. And What the Frog, they qualified through the Opens. So the other 3 were all invited. And Mason, CCNC, and Crew, well, they're going to be playing up against Complexity in the first round tonight. Wowzers. Dude, I so want to watch that. Is Grant casting it?
I assume so.
If he's not, I'm casting.
Dude, Grant's gonna cast it 100%. There's no doubt. Watching the Mason stack. I'm excited too. That is my evening plans.
I want to cast it with Grant. Fuck. Oh my god.
Call him up, dude. Grant would take you on. He would let you in on a call for a little bit.
I casted with Mason not that long ago. I feel like we got to do some role reversal here. Now we can cast the Mace Man. That Grant follow on Instagram needs to pay some dividends eventually.
Grant told me that you're one of his favorite people to cast with.
I like casting with Grant a lot, actually. I think doing that kind of casual cast, like the way we did that CIS tournament, the I can't believe it's not Summit, the way Grant does that kind of coverage is so top tier. He has a really good balance of fucking around, going off topic, but still bringing it back to the game and then dropping these crazy knowledge bombs. But he reminds me of Slacks in the way I can throw pretty much anything at him and he'll give me back something funnier than I started with. He's just one of those people that has that kind of energy, and I love casting with people like that. It's so much fun. Anytime the game gets remotely boring or slow, there's just this endless supply of Grant energy that comes out.
Oh, Nomad's casting tonight too there, guys. In the chat, our boy Nomad will also be on BTS casting. He's a legend.
You're casting it on BTS from your sofa? Oh,
does that mean Mo's coming too, Nomad, or is this a solo mission? I assume Mo will be there. Better have Mo. I love the Nomad Mo couch cast. Big fan. There's not a whole lot of those in Dota right now, where we have people, 2 of us on the sofa. Yes, all right, confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. So we have 2 great streams for it tonight,
dude.
That's exactly what we're looking for,
dude.
Did totally sweet, dude. You playing any more Smash, Andrew?
I haven't been playing much Smash recently because I've been playing so much Path of Exile. That has really soaked up a lot of
Oh,
my game time. So this season is going to end in like a month or so. Usually the seasons last for like 3 months, and March is the beginning of a new one. So I'm learning. I made a second character and now a third character to try out some different classes. Some really
wow.
generous dude on Twitter just DM'd me and said, "Hey man, I can't play for the rest of the season. Do you want a bunch of my currency?" And he gave me like 3 Exalted Orbs and a couple hundred Chaos Orbs. And that was super generous. I don't really.
So how does that work? So you lose it at the end of the season? Yeah, everyone gets reset?
Well, so it doesn't like actually reset, but the way I understand it is everything bumps down from the ladder. So right now the ladder is called Betrayal. When Betrayal ends, those characters just move to normal, and then the new league starts, and you can make characters on the new one, whatever it's going to be called, you know.
Oh, I see.
So you can still play the characters, but when they're not on ladder anymore, it's kind of like, yeah, nobody plays not on ladder because everyone's stacked from having all their shit from past seasons. So I understand it. And I think a lot of people, once they kind of get stacked out in a season, they play they call it SSF. What is it? It's something where you're playing online but offline. Basically, your character connects online, but you're on like your own isolated little box, so you can't trade or interact with anyone else. So it's all completely solo.
Self-found.
Yeah, but it's still so you have to use items that you find. So, but it's cool because if you're streaming and stuff, it's not just like single player where you can cheat or whatever. It kind of proves that there's like rankings and stuff to it. So I've noticed a lot of streamers play that or play in private leagues that people have created with different kind of modifiers to make the game harder. So
okay,
I've been watching streams. I've been learning. It's really deep. There's just a shitload of stuff to learn. So when you start a new character, you're just like reading guides and just like, oh, I'm gonna get this gem. Oh, I'm gonna get this link. Oh, look at these colors. Oh, chromatics. It's all over the place. So I've really been diving in head first, and I've been finding a lot more people play Path of Exile than I thought. You know, our good friend Bill from Canada Cup, he DM'd me. He was like, dude, I've been playing Path of Exile since the very first season. I'm like, shit, I didn't know you were so hardcore. I wish I had started a long time ago.
There's a lot of those.
It's
Charlie's super into it. Jack's really into it.
Yeah. It's really a lot of fun, and I play a lot of it kind of single player too. So I have been neglecting the Switch a little bit. I have to admit that's the
okay.
trade-off.
That's what travel's for, right?
Exactly. That's what I've been thinking.
Switch is always there for you.
Yeah, PoE is so much better on a desktop that it's I gotta play it while I got it. And I did play some Dota the other day. I played 5 of my calibration games, went 3-2. I'm commanding and conquering with Crystal Maiden. She feels pretty strong right now.
She got a shadow buff, I noticed.
Really?
They didn't list it in the patch notes, but her ulti does more damage at level 1 now.
Oh.
Which was really random.
Hey.
Someone noted it on the subreddit. They were like, hey, guys, I think CM's ulti went up by, it was like 25 or 50 damage or something.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah, and it just wasn't in the list.
Huh. Yeah.
It was CM ulti went from 105 damage to 125 damage at level 1, and then from 170 to 200 at level 2, and then it maxes out at 275 instead of 250 now. So super secret buff.
I've been playing less Dazzle recently. Now he's so good and so prolific. I don't like playing him because you are just a straight target. It's actually not that much fun. You have to play a totally different style to just survive because people are like, Dazzle! I know Dazzle's really good. Fucking kill the Dazzle! I hate that. And sometimes you can.
True.
I actually won one of my calibration games because I itemized Tanky with a Crimson Guard. Final fight, they went all in trying to kill me. They couldn't kill me. And then we turned the fight, wiped them 5-0, and just Luna'd down the mid lane and fucking won the game. It felt pretty fucking good. But that's 1 in 5, man. Playing Dazzle right now is a pretty fucking miserable experience in my humble opinion. I've been much more enjoying your like CMs, your Witch Doctors. I tried some Lion. Not a big fan, but Lion's still cool in my book.
Lion's pretty OG, I'm pretty sure. So we missed the Fortnite craze. I think it's officially. I mean, obviously it's still massive, but in craze status, I think it's passed. I think we missed our time to ever actually install Fortnite and play because there's the new hot commodity that people are talking about in chat right now, and it's booming hot. It's real hot. It's fucking spicy.
Have you played it?
It's Apex. No, I have not. So that's my question. Are we just gonna let this happen again?
I don't know, dude.
Malistrix is already trying to get us to play.
I know, right?
Yep.
Well,
they all want us to play some Apex Legends. I saw they went hard on the money. I saw Disrespect, Summit, Shroud, all even having hashtag ad in their stream,
Wow.
all getting paid to play it at the same time, and the viewership was crazy.
Wow.
They spent fat cash to get those guys to play, and it's a free game, so already a big up on things like PUBG and Call of Duty because it's more so in that style than the Fortnite style. And I gotta say, I watched some just to see what the game looked like. Looks pretty fun. Looks pretty good.
I'm pretty into it. I mean, I liked PUBG quite a bit. We played it for a lot of hours, and it just started to get a little bit stale. It took them a little too long to like release new content and stuff. It was almost like PUBG wasn't prepared for that game to go as viral as it did. So it's cool to see a new competitor come into the space. It's weird that this genre is so popcorny. Like, I can't think of any other genre of games where there's so many fans, and then when a new cool title comes out, they just completely ditch the old one and flood to the new one. You know, it's been happening even before the PUBG Fortnite craze, because we had like DayZ, and we had
zombie games.
Yeah, all the other what was the H1Z1, and even like Rust, and there's some other like within that kind of genre of the survival kind of battle royale-esque. And
I mean, that's what shooters do too, though, right?
Yes, but it felt
Shooters
like
kind of the
Halo
same
had a
thing.
good couple years of a competitive league. You know, Call of Duty had multiple years of massive viewership and
Oh, yeah, I see what
sustainability
you're
as a
saying.
game. Fortnite has been around for how long now? 1 year? Definitely has not been 2 full years yet. How long was PUBG around? Almost a year, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. PUBG seems to be still kicking pretty well, though. They seem to be kind of stabilizing. They've had a lot of good updates lately, so
It's
I think
going.
people are just kind of, with more choices, people are starting to leave towards things that suit them a little bit better. Like,
Yeah.
other ones are still going to be like Fortnite's still obviously absolutely massive. It's going to be humongous forever.
Right.
But you know, people now have more options, so maybe some people that would have played Fortnite are now going to play Apex instead and stuff like that.
Yeah, and even just in terms of esports, I see people saying there's a lot of MOBAs out there, but it's not like Arena of Valor even holds a candle to, quote, the real MOBAs. You know, like Dota and League are on this echelon of sustainability and ecosystem with teams and sponsorships and tournaments that you can't even get there within a year or two of being a budding esport. You know, that's the product of, you know, over a decade of development and serious investment from Valve and Riot and various other third parties that have been part of that ecosystem. So I don't know. It's not the same. It'll be interesting to see if Apex Legends has a big esports future. I saw the one of the lead developers said something about Apex Legends having some esports potential and capabilities and stuff. So we'll definitely
Speaking
see.
of,
I haven't watched any
esports.
PUBG. Do you know if the coverage has gotten better? Because my problem with competitive PUBG is it seemed like there was a lot of over strategizing and stuff where the game just wasn't quite as deep as it seemed a lot of the analysts wanted it to be. And maybe that's just my noob perspective, but a couple of those first tournaments were
coverage is
pretty
better.
rough in terms of word vomit and just like, oh, they're going to flank around here and do this. It's like, I think they're just lucky that they spawned in the bubble. I don't know.
oh, what was the one that escarpment? That's like a sloped hill? Is that right? That was the one that was
think
being
so.
used like over and over. That made me laugh a lot
Yeah.
in the original broadcasts. But
Should we do some Moonduck style Apex Legends coverage like we did with the Moonduck days? Bring
Dude, I'm in.
lightning mode to Apex. Get slacks with some pretzels.
But although the coverage has gotten better, the viewership is really poor. Like, it's pretty bad. I saw like their LAN coverage had like 2 or 3K viewers. On
Artifact
English, so,
level, dude. That's no good.
Yeah, no, and you're talking how many players you're bringing in? By the way,
Yeah.
this is not 8 people or whatever for an Artifact tournament that's done online.
Yeah.
We're talking flying in
That's
all
brutal.
these teams of 4.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know how that
didn't look
works
very
from
good.
a cost analysis perspective. I guess you're right. At least with Artifact, when you see these lower numbers, you're like, well, I mean, it's not like the players were on LAN. How much did they have to pay to run this tournament? But
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't been paying close attention to Artifact, but the bit that I've seen is a number of these third-party tournaments have put up some prize pools, had some decent teams, and the coverage is just not really getting that much press. And I don't know if it's because not enough people are playing the game. I don't know if it's because of the paywall. I don't know if it's because the production just isn't quite there yet, or the game is inherently
I think
difficult to
production
watch.
and casters and stuff, and even watching it's kind of fine. Like, I even watched a little bit of it, and of course it was Slacks and Suns fan, so I was enjoying it no matter what. But I mean, I played enough Artifact to get it. But the thing is, there's no passion. There's no massive passion group for Artifact yet. So they just straight up need more players.
How about an auto chess tournament, dude?
They had one. Twitch Rivals did one. Cap and Eosin casted it with a host guy. Dude, they had like 60K viewers. It was pretty funny. I watched a little bit of it.
Why are we doing that, dude? That's a $1 million. All right, not $1 million. That's a 60,000 viewer idea right there, and we're all just sitting here on the Moonduck Discord. Gee, guys, I don't know. Maybe I'll get invited to a tournament. Why aren't we doing an auto chess tournament, dude? Slacks is coming over today. We could have been doing that.
Then do one.
People
will watch it. I guarantee it. BSJ's Queen rank now. He can be the first invite. You can make him do a video to announce. Just invite all the Hearthstone streamers. Invite his little stack.
How much money do we need?
Paying some cash.
Is $1,000 enough? How about $1,000 and a headset?
I'd say if you get 10K total, you'd be good.
10K. All right.
5K first place.
10K.
1 day tournament.
Can you bet on Dota chess? Can I get some betting sponsors?
Fuck yeah, let's do that. Let's get a betting sponsor. Oh, buddy, now we're talking.
All right.
Let's get a betting sponsor. Do a 1 day tournament. Ooh.
All right. I'm gonna fire off some emails after this.
All right,
I'm gonna tap the network. I'm gonna see what we can do here. And all right, I'm gonna talk to the big guy. That's Slacks, of course. I'm gonna see what we can put together. Auto chess.
Let's get some sweet betting cash here.
Dude,
let's make everyone bet on who's gonna win an auto chess game.
Dude, I think we've been asked from betting sites for prop bets and creative ideas. I think this fits the bill.
All right, perfect.
All right, shit. Now the wheels are turning, dude. I was gonna work on taxes today, but now I think I'm gonna work on this auto chess tournament.
I say let's go for 20K. We'll pay them all 1K just to show up because they're a bunch of Hearthstone streamers and we're taking away their stream time. And then we'll put the 10K prize pool on top of that.
Okay. How about this? What if we do a lower prize pool, but we let everybody stream their gameplay in the tournament? That way they don't have to turn off their streams.
Yeah, true. I forgot about that. I forgot they can stream their own shit. Yeah, do that.
How about that? And then it can be less money, and then we can still do a Moonduck stream, then people won't get mad. Oh my God, I think I've got an idea. Love this feeling.
All right, get in there, buddy.
Moonduck lives. All right, cool. Sweet. Well, that's exciting. I need to actually sit down and play some auto chess.
That's just what Dota needs is another auto chess. Dude, I was trying to find out who else was casting the same games I was during the minor and shit. And I'm literally scrolling through the Dota 2 section, just like, all right, is anyone else casting Na'Vi right now? Auto chess, Russian Na'Vi. Auto chess, Russian Na'Vi. Like, it is
Trent,
crazy.
For the layman's out there like me that have yet to play it or are behind on the curve, what is the TLDR about auto chess that has made it so viral? What makes it so fun? Why is it so much better than all the other games?
It's like watching Hearthstone. It's the same thing. It's like you watch someone get screwed over by RNG or make massive plays by RNG, and it's funny.
Okay. All right. So it's just Hearthstone for Dota.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Is there any mechanical skill to it? Or is it all just playing cards and shit?
Well, I guess it's not totally true. There is kind of some skill in terms of there's definitely knowledge skill. I wouldn't call it mechanical skill.
There's no micro or anything like that.
Other than when you have to spend a lot of cash really fast, then there definitely is actually some micro skill that comes into play.
Okay.
You can make some big plays, but for the most part, it's not going to separate you from, you could probably still make it to Bishop and not be fast at clicking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Dude, the wheels are turning. All right, we got to cut this thing so I can get to work. I'm excited. This is
sounds good.
This is the feeling that I live for, Trent. This is that sweet nectar of a good idea blossoming into a real project.
It's really revolutionary.
Revolutionary. Okay, cool. So I don't have anything else. I don't have any announcements. I'm hoping we have an announcement soon. Slacks has been supposedly scheduled to come over to film a big announcement for something that y'all will be excited about, but yesterday he was supposed to come over, and I messaged him that I was going to be about half an hour late, and he said, wait a minute, it's Friday? And I said, yes, it is. He's like, I thought it was Thursday. Oh, no, I'm not ready. So he said, how about tomorrow? So he's supposed to be coming over today. That's like the 4th time in a row he's canceled. So
okay,
I don't have high hopes, but we'll see. Keep the antennas tuned because we do have some stuff coming. But otherwise, you know where to find the podcast, boys and girls, Zyori.tv for the audio only, and youtube.com/moonducktv for the VOD. Until next time, we'll see ya.